Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 29 of the Gaming Pubcast. I'm Duncan, and I'm here with a very snotty Tom.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I am full of lurgy. Apologies if I sniff and cough down the podcast.
So I think you were saying that's limited your gaming time this week because you just have been pretty under the weather.
I've not touched a thing, unfortunately. So next time we record, I will endeavour to have played lots of things.
There's lots of Amstrad games to play out there, isn't there?
There is. So, no, I was looking around at that.
Well,
Not one person is showing a complete collection of Amstrad games anywhere. So,
well, the good news is that I like to waffle on, and I've been playing. Well, what have I been playing? I've been playing. I was weak, and I got Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth. I know it was my. I was hoping that it was going to come onto Game Pass. It wasn't, and then I thought, do you know what? I think it will eventually. I will be patient and I will wait. And I just saw videos. I saw the reviews. The reviews coming out and saying it was absolutely brilliant. And yes, I was weak, and I bought it, but it was verified Steam Deck compatible on Steam, so I've actually got it for PC. Because then at some point, if it does come to Game Pass, I will be able to start all over again. It was advertised as the biggest Yakuza game ever and longest to play and whatnot. And so this isn't a full review, I don't think, because I've played about 8 hours so far, and the game is based in Hawaii, and I've only just got to Hawaii about an hour ago.
Yeah. Wow.
Because you start off and you have the full map from the first game. There's which is I can't remember the city, but you're in Japan, in a Japanese city, a section of that, and it's like, wow, blimey, they've got a whole map, but they do restrict your movements in it. But even in that, they've got the arcades, they've got the, excuse me if I say this wrong, but the Mahjong, the tile game. They've got all these mini games and everything that you can play. And you can level up your character as much as you like with random people walking around the city. And so I could have easily spent 20 hours leveling and whatnot. But then, I have got to Hawaii, and it's got all the best parts of the first game. The first game was hilariously funny, and it's turn-based. They have brought in a slight... not action, but you can move your characters around, whereas before that made no difference where your characters were. Now it makes a difference, and you can move behind enemies, and that classes a back attack or rear attack. And you can have some special, like, magic attacks, say magic attacks there, just special moves that you select, where the further you are from somebody, the bigger difference it can make. And also when you're just doing a physical attack, you can be closer, and that will give extra power to your attack. So they've still kept it. It is still turn-based. You can just sit there and decide what to do if you want, but while you're deciding, all the enemies are moving around, and if they're lying down when you start your go, if they stand up, you hit them for less. You can hit them for harder when they're lying down. It's got its usual very pretty. For all the Yakuza games, they're very good looking, in the sense that they, like, the people look like people in the games, but the animations are very I won't say blocky, but it feels like it could look very pretty on an Xbox One.
Yeah.
And maybe, and then the series and your mid-range PCs. But yeah, the animations are a bit sort of Stickman-ish kind of thing. So it's it looks great, and I think the characters look better than the towns. It's one of these ones where you might go, oh look, a lovely sunset, or that's it's a very busy scene, and it's like you're in Hawaii, so there's lots of people on a beach kind of thing. But when you actually sit there and actually look at the beach, and you look at the buildings, and you look at the cars, they're very basic. They're very basic. But you're looking at the characters most of the time. And and the story carries on from the first one. So do you need to play the first one? Like the Yakuza Like a Dragon, that is, when I say the first one. No, because it does sort of give you hints of what happened, but it probably is one that's helpful if you've played the first one.
Okay.
But it's
so is it worth what you paid for it?
So far, yes, because as I said, I've barely scratched the surface, and I'm already enjoying it. The only downside that I have with this one and the first one is that it is an adult game in terms of you will have this crazy, unbelievably stupid thing that's hilarious, and then literally seconds later you'll have a really violent, graphically gory scene with people being sliced up and it's a bit sort of like a version of Uncanny Valley kind of thing with graphical, where you're like, oh, that's really funny, but then equally you'll have a really deep emotional bit, and then as soon as it comes into controlling you, you'll have some crazy character that just appears, and you're like, oh, okay, I was just in a very emotional place with the story, and now I'm and now I'm looking at a grown man in a nappy kind of thing.
I suppose it's a bit of shock and awe, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I did a thing earlier where it was a pizza delivery. And so I go around on this little bike doing jumps and picking up like tens and tens of pizzas and hamburgers, and then I'm going into a sort of quite emotional cutscene about saving somebody from the worst time of their life kind of thing. And like, but I'm not in the right mindset for that. So that's the only downside of the Like a Dragon, like Yakuza Like a Dragon, now Infinite Wealth, is that it mixes the crazy with the very serious. But equally, the serious is done very well, and the hilarious is hilarious. So, so
there you have it, people.
It's great.
Duncan has been spending 8 hours doing backdoor attacks.
It's a brilliant game, and if you don't like turn-based games, still give it a chance, because it's, as I said, they've made it a little less turn-based. It is still turn-based, but it works very well in a modern setting, and it deserves the ratings it's got so far. I think it's hovering about around the 90% on Metacritic. So fantastic game, and I will update as I get more into it, maybe in future episodes. But get it, and hopefully, you never know, within 6 months it might be on Game Pass. But
may not.
Yes, they have not announced anything, and they haven't hinted at anything, so we'll have to wait and see.
So we also had the PlayStation State of Play, didn't we? Which
was
recently done. Some interesting announcements. Do you want to go over some of those?
Well, the one that actually got me is, because I don't own a PS5. The one game that I've missed out on, I didn't have a PS4 either. The one that I missed out on is Until Dawn, and they're remaking that. Well, not remaking it. I think it's more of, I don't know. It's an Unreal 5 update. I don't know how much they're totally remaking it, or whether it's just, higher resolution, high def, better character models. But yeah, I love the Supermassive games, the Dark Pictures anthology, and Until Dawn was one that obviously I missed out on because I never owned a PlayStation. So I'm very much looking forward to playing that on PC, and hopefully, being an Unreal 5 game, it might not, but it might run on Steam Deck. I mean, I am running a PC here, but technically this isn't my PC. So,
time to get a PlayStation.
Yeah, I can't warrant an extra 400 or 500 quid. Well, yeah, about 400 quid.
If Sony's out there and you want to donate a PlayStation to the show, feel free. Death Stranding 2 looked mega creepy.
Yeah, now I own the first one on PC. I have attempted to play it, and I am currently, because I played it for about 3 hours, 4 hours, so I didn't get into it that much. I am currently, though, in the I don't get it camp. I don't get it.
It's just weird.
It's weird. I didn't really know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So again, it's not to say I'm saying it's rubbish, but it's definitely not for me. It's a very much I think the British phase is a Marmite game. You either love it or you hate it.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And I'm not in the love it camp. But again, I haven't given it enough time, I think, to go, I don't like it. It's not. I don't think it's very good. But it's not one that's on my radar to hurry up and play.
What about Legendary Tales for the PlayStation VR 2? I think this game's already out on the Quest, if I remember rightly.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
It's like a dungeon type game. And it's a first-person game, combat with swords, hammers, bows and arrows, and it looks fantastic graphically. Obviously, it's far superior over the MetaQuest, but I'm sure that game is available for the MetaQuest because I think I've got a friend that's playing it. And
what's it? Legend of?
It was Legendary Tales for the PS.
Legendary Tales. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it looks really, really good, and graphically looks amazing. It really is. So,
it's a multiplayer RPG. So, okay, I haven't seen all of the trailers for the State of the Play. So, and obviously VR, especially for the PlayStation VR. So it's, from what I can read, it's a first-person hack and slash RPG. So, do you think it'll be a Skyrim for VR?
Yeah, I mean, Skyrim was pretty fantastic, but yeah, I mean, it's great on the Quest from what I hear. So we will see. I mean, the PlayStation VR 2 is generally far superior to most, let's call it within reach VR headsets at the moment, cost-wise. So graphically, it's superior, and sound-wise, it's got a lot of AAA games. So you would expect it to be a great game using the PS5 technology. So time will tell how good it is. We were speaking last episode about Nightmare, weren't we? So it's almost quite similar. It's that kind of thing.
Oh, so it has that puzzly kind of. It's not just an action by the looks of it.
No, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And obviously
there was another VR game, I think, wasn't there? But I can't remember. Oh, I should have had a list, really, shouldn't I? But yeah, there was another big one for me. But what it did sort of catch my eye as well was Ken Levine revealed a game called Judas, which has been sort of revealed before, but there was some gameplay reveal, and it looks a bit Bioshocky.
It does, doesn't it? I thought that, yeah.
So But at the end of the day, if they can make a good story, because that's what made the first Bioshock such a success, and the gameplay was good as a secondary thing as well, for me. So, hey, if he can come up with another classic game, I don't know. I presume I'm going to say, as it's a Ken Levine game, that it's probably multi-platform. Ooh, I don't know, but if it comes out on Xbox, I'd definitely be very much interested. I'm just looking up. Okay, yep. Apparently, it is PlayStation 5, Windows, and Xbox. So yes. So us Xbox users will be getting it. Yeah.
We will, of course, endeavour to push you to buy a PlayStation at some stage. So,
I have nothing against PlayStation. I just, as soon as with these last generations, the ability to play your previous generation digital games has meant that I think something like 800 games that I have access to, maybe 900. Yeah. It's a no-brainer, really. Why would I start at zero?
Yeah, no, I fully agree. It's something that Sony need to get a move on with.
Yeah, I mean, theirs has got better with the PlayStation 5. Obviously, PlayStation 4, I think they very much had you're buying things for this generation. So forget the previous ones. They did have some PS1 games to stream, didn't they? I think some PS2 games. But now, obviously, with the streaming and with downloadable, I think you have previous generation games. So it's definitely a lot better now, and hence why PS4 owners now have PS5 and Xbox owners have the Xbox Series consoles. But yeah, having a PlayStation for the exclusives, that's the other reason why I've never really gone PlayStation, because although The Last of Us, Spider-Man, the Horizon Zero games and Horizon Forbidden West, they all look great and everything. I don't personally, I don't feel I'm missing out with them.
Yeah. Interestingly, you mentioned Spider-Man. So on the next PlayStation Plus free game release, you're going to get, I think it's a 20-minute demo of Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 5.
Yes, they've announced that, because I know on groups that I'm in, there was somebody who thought it was coming on PlayStation Plus, and people went, no, it's not. It's a timed. It's the full thing, but timed. But yeah, so I think by now, if you haven't played the first one, you can probably get the first one reduced, or it's probably on PlayStation Plus, I would guess. Is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it is. Play the first one,
Morales and Spider-Man.
Yeah, there you go. So you got Miles Morales. So play the first one, play Miles Morales. If you like them, you're gonna like number 2, because it does everything but bigger and better.
Yep, that's true.
And they all look great as well.
And one of the big announcements that we haven't touched on yet is Silent Hill 2, the remake.
Well, of course you want your favourite games of all time.
One of my favourite games of all time, absolutely. So, but will keep the atmosphere of the original? Time will tell.
Well, the first 2 Silent Hill games were terrifying. Even if the fog was a graphical limitation due to the hardware in the first game, because Silent Hill 2, I'm correctly remembering, was on PS2. Oh, is your dog attacking someone?
Yes. So dog snoring.
So the first one, the fog, although because they had to restrict the how far you could see, and that's why they brought the fog in, was still one of the best graphical limitations ever, I think.
Yeah,
and it was creepy.
Yeah,
you could hear things in the fog, And I was like, I don't want to go over there. Oh no, is there something going to come out, jump out and kill me, and that kind of thing. And it was just terrifying. And then you had, when you did see things, they were like, "Yep, I wish they'd stayed in the fog." You got the nurses and Pyramid Head, and it was
when you
fantastic.
saw Pyramid Head around that door, and all of a sudden he starts going for you, and you're like, oh, "What do I press? Where do I go?"
Yeah. And in the end, I mean, Pyramid Head was reasonably easy to avoid, wasn't he? It was just the apprehension of him arriving. Just
it was almost fun to wind him up. Running circles and running.
They're very depressing games, though, aren't they? Because I mean, most Resident Evils have pretty good endings. Generally, though, Silent Hill endings are everybody's dead.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I hope I'm not spoiling it for anybody, but generally, it's sort of like your Lost kind of thing, where it's like, are they dead? Are they this? Is this person dead all the time? Was this person alive? Is this person representative of somebody? And generally, and they've got multiple endings, I think, as well. Most of them. You can have positive endings, which are still pretty bleak. But it's one of the pinnacles of psychological horror that's led to a lot of games now that we enjoy, or some people do. I've probably even Alan Wake too could and Alan Wake probably could have Silent Hill as an inspiration. I can imagine.
Definitely.
Sam Lake does.
The funny thing is, there was a rumor that they're going to get a PlayStation VR 2 version of it as well.
Well, it's hopefully they'll have the same love and care and attention to detail as the Resident Evil remakes have, because I've played a bit of Resident Evil 2 remake recently because that's come to Game Pass. And it's got all the places and things that I remember from playing the original. I played the original to death. But it's all in 3D, and the shooting things works really well, and rather than not being able to move and having to aim up and down and not being able to see what you're aiming at. So
those were joyous days. So
just in case anybody does wonder who's watching the video, is Tom just go off because he doesn't want people to see him snotting everywhere.
Basically, I'm censoring myself.
It's not technical issues, unlike our interview with Bill that had a video problem in the middle. But anyway, so Silent Hill 2, and will that be a day one purchase, do you think, for you?
Maybe. I don't know. I think
if the reviews come back, really, they're like, amazing.
Yeah, maybe. I need to kind of take a look at it first, have a little play. I'm really fussy, and I think CRT TVs played a lot into the Silent Hill games and how they work. So high definition, not so sure. We'll see.
Yeah, and obviously there's not the graphical limitations to need a fog, but then was the fog in? So I don't remember Silent Hill 2 at all, to be honest. I did play it.
There was more in Silent Hill 2.
But probably not due to graphical limitations, though. Maybe not.
And there was bleeding walls as well, which was quite fun.
But there's still probably the nurses, the mannequin nurses, and Pyramid Head, and
all of that.
Was it the same protagonist?
Oh, I can't remember.
I don't remember the second one at all.
It's been too long.
It has. I mean, it must be over 20 years old, I presume. So, but I mean, Silent Hill as well. They've dropped there's a demo, like teaser demo thing. I can't remember the Silent Hill, the broadcast. I think it's available for PlayStation users. I don't think they're going to probably get the same effect as PT, which was a Silent Hills teaser, as people found out eventually.
Unless they've used their brain
cancelled.
and included something.
Well, the thing is, I mean, the Silent Hills was going to be a Hideo Kojima. It was going to be, Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro. So, and it was terrifying. So
It was.
I haven't seen any reviews or videos of this Silent Hill, the broadcast, but if you have a PlayStation, you can, I think, get it now, I think. So,
and I will download it and tell you next week.
It was shadow dropped during the State of Play. Yeah. So whether it's a demo or whether it's I think it's a completely separate teaser.
I think it is. But it all adds to it. And I think, now, interestingly, I just looked at the release date for the original Silent Hill 2. Have a guess. What year, Duncan?
Oh, the first one must have been 98, I would guess. So I would say 2000.
2001.
Oh, close.
So yeah, that makes us officially ancient. And
I think I played that.
Yeah.
Oh,
so Duncan's coming around my house to play the new version, and we'll just film him scream. So
yes. Well, on that message, I can't actually play a PlayStation 2, but I have for my son. I brought him the new Anbernic RG35XX H, which is a small handheld. It's an update. It's the same chipset as their RG35XX Plus, which was like a Game Boy style format. This one though looks, as my 6-year-old son now says, it's like a mini Steam Deck, Daddy. And it's sort of like he's very impressed with it. He had one of these cheap knockoff 400-in-1 things that just played NES games. So for his birthday, which we're recording on his birthday, I bought him this. And Anbernic were very kind, and they sent a bonus one, obviously, for me to review it. So, it's great. It's easy to use. You can use it straight out the box. Just charge it and use it. It comes preloaded with games from about 20 different hardware, emulations. There are some games that it doesn't have preloaded. Obviously, I think Nintendo have a reach into China. So there are some games, but it does come preloaded with hundreds of games. Literally hundreds. It's definitely got a good weight to it and a good solid feel to it. The screen is quite small. I think people on the video can see it. It's, I don't know the actual size of it. It's something like 3.5 inch or something.
It's kind of very much like the Neo Geo Pocket color.
Yeah. Well, you can get it in different colors. This one is a transparent purple. The joysticks, it's a dual joystick one. They are quite short ones. They're a bit like the PSP and PS Vita kind of sticks. No, not the PSP, because that was a slider one, wasn't it? So they're a bit like the PS Vita. And if you've got big hands, it's never going to be something you're comfortable with using the sticks. Because, for me, I have to sort of always pull my thumbs in a bit, or I have to use it where I look like it's hot and I'm pinching it, kind of thing.
Oh, crikey.
Also, the L1 and R1 buttons are not one on top of each other; they are next to each other. So you have the L1 is on the corner, and the L2 is further on the top. So you can find yourself accidentally, if you're trying to hit L2 or R2, you can find yourself hitting L1 by accident if you've got big chunky fingers like me. Other than that, the clickiness of the buttons, I'll see if I can put it near the microphone, and I don't know if people can hear that, but it's sort of it's got a decent click to the D-pad and the buttons, and it comes with one SD card, which everybody online recommends, and I would recommend get a new one. It's quite easy to install, and have the firmware to download freely available online that you can install on any SD card quite easily, and put a new one in, because apparently the one that they send fails pretty quickly. It's a very, very cheap 64 gigabyte, but it will emulate everything up to the Dreamcast, and so
very impressive actually.
Crazy Taxi on a tiny little screen, but you can play Crazy Taxi.
Well, Sega Saturn.
Soul Calibur. Now that is the one that it doesn't have on here, because apparently Sega Saturn emulation is not very good.
Very hard to do.
Yeah. So I don't know whether you just need super powerful hardware, or whether it's never been that great. So no, it doesn't do Sega Saturn. It does do Dreamcast, Mega Drive, Game Gear, Mega CD, Master System, and whatnot. So plenty of things. All the Nintendos, most of the coin-op, the arcade boards, Pico. It's got on there all built in, and the screen's bright. The battery lasts a long time, and it's got USB Type-C charging, and HDMI. It's got mini HDMI out, so you can connect it to your TV. It's got Bluetooth. It has got Wi-Fi, apparently, so you can connect two of them, which, thankfully, I've got two now. So I haven't tested it out yet to see how easy it is, because I think it will also depend on the emulator. So... but we'll have to wait and see.
See what's running in the background, but that's good.
And this was, I think, all in all, with packaging, taxes, and postage, and all that kind of thing, I believe this was about £70.
That's good. So basically £40 then, because you got one.
The fact that I got two, So £70 delivered to the UK. I think. Without all the taxes and everything, so it goes for about £55. So if you're in whatever country you're in, if you order it, make sure you find out the final price before you tell your wife. Let's just say that.
Is that a man talking from experience?
Yeah. Well, when the taxes and postage and packaging come to about £15-20, and you've told the wife it's about 60 quid.
Yep.
But no. So it's got a 3.5 mil jack on it as well. It does have an extra micro SD slot at the bottom, which I believe you could just put a SD full of games on if you want. And I'd highly recommend it. It's a good piece of kit, and it'll be great for long journeys for my little boy, and he loves it. Yeah, he loves it very, very much. So,
and going to the other extremes of technology, the now near on £5,000 worth or $5,000 worth of Vision Pro that's actually just come out of a pre-order, and just about everyone's reviewing them online, and.
Yes, the Vision Pro out finally. Well, it's technically, when we're recording, it's out tomorrow, isn't it? Because we're recording on the 1st of February, but the reviews are all out. We have not been able to get a copy of a version of it. So, but the reviews are out, and
it's varied.
How would you say it's gone for Apple?
Well, it's varied. I think that the biggest complaints are the weight, because it's all in the front. But I think as we get third-party straps and somewhere to slot the battery pack in around the back of your head, that'll sort itself out. The cost is the biggest issue for everyone. But yeah, generally it's kind of like a fantastic product with no actual use. It is simply a wearable, high definition television on your face that can do everything your TV can do and a games console can do. However, I don't believe, as I've said before, Apple released this to become a top selling product like the iPhone.
They're very much advertising it as a spatial computing thing.
Yeah.
They're not advertising it as a gaming VR or anything like that. They're not even advertising it as VR. They're saying it's spatial computing.
Yeah.
And I think most reviewers have gone, it's VR.
Yeah, that's the one. But we will endeavour to get a test unit and give you a full insight in the next coming episodes. So keep your eyes peeled. And if any of you have any feedback on the Vision Pro, if you've dipped your toe in to purchase one, then let us know on our Facebook group.
Yep.
So, and on that note, we've come to the end of the
on that
podcast
end,
already.
yes, we have come to the end of this episode. And as usual, like and subscribe and all that malarkey. And yeah,
And we'll be back next week.
Episode 29. And we will see everybody next week.
We will. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye-bye.